Good morning, everybody. Hey, welcome to a wet Wednesday here in Central Florida. I hope that, hey, we're halfway through the week. Hope you're doing well. As we look at what happened on Wall Street yesterday, mixed bag, but a new record set on one of the indexes. And then what are we looking at today as retail sales rolls out and PPI rolls out and those type of things? We'll look at those numbers. Those will have an effect on the futures as we prepare for this morning. So with that, Dave will be joining us in just a moment. But before he does, remember, folks, there's only one thing that you can control in your portfolio. And if you don't know what that number is, it can be devastating. And that is how much risk do you have in your portfolio? Hey, give us a call at 863-382-0037 and schedule your financial x-ray. You can also go to our website at statlerfinancial.com. There's a link to our calendar. Hey, schedule a time. Let's just sit down and have a conversation about how much risk you have in your current portfolio. Again, that's 863-382-0037. Hey, looking forward to my discussion this morning with Dave. And like I said, that's coming up next.
Band there, that's Genesis. I'm Morning Dave. We're at 19 here before 9. Well, Phillip Statler and I have been on the phone for a couple of minutes here saying, It's just kind of one of those days the way it starts out on the markets this morning, and we'll tell you about it now. Let's check in on your finances with the resources of Phillip Statler from Statler Financial Services this morning. Phillip, good morning, and we're both looking at retail sales figures and going, this just doesn't make a lot of sense, does it?
No, it really doesn't. You know, it was a huge beat coming in at over 5%. The consensus estimate was only to be about 1.1%. So that's a huge beat. Now they're contributing that to everybody getting that $600 and actually going out and spending it this last month. But still, even that extra money spending, I don't know that it really justifies the number they're seeing there. So it'll be interesting to see when everything kind of slows down and they really look at that number more closely, if it doesn't get knocked down just a little bit.
I got to believe you. Every once in a while, you get an unemployment number that makes no sense off of first-time claims, and we find out a couple of days later that they forgot one state or something, and it happens. But, when you expect a 1.1% increase in a month, and all of a sudden the government says, boy, we spent money like drunken sailors, a 5.3% increase in one single month, that's the kind of increase you expect across an entire year, and it just, something doesn't add up, and it kind of looks like the Wall Street market makers are saying about the same thing, because they aren't reacting much at all to this, are they?
No, a matter of fact, Dave, they're going the opposite direction. I mean, instead of going green, they're actually moving down the food chain and getting rid of stuff, and most everything's dropped into the negative if it wasn't negative before.
Oh, Lordy. We got another number that really doesn't make a lot of sense either. The Producer Price Index, wholesale inflation, it was expected to be up by about 0.4%, and all of a sudden in 1 month we show a 1.3% increase in producer inflation. I got to admit, my bull crud detector is going off on both of those numbers today. Isn't it yours?
Well, it is. I mean, those are just some substantial increases that don't really make sense given where we are on several fronts, on the vaccine front, on the COVID-19 front. It just doesn't look right. So we'll have to see how those numbers get revised. And obviously the traders are not thinking those numbers are right either.
They got to be kind of sitting back and saying, this does not look good for the first full month of reports under a new administration. You start wondering whether they got Miss McGullicuddy's second grade math class doing the statistics.
Well, you're right. I mean, that is true. I hadn't really thought about that part, Dave. It does. We got new people up there that are throwing the numbers out. And so, that starts to, when there's that much of a variance, you really start to think, okay, what's the deal?
Yeah, somewhere down the line, something isn't adding up there. I mean, it's possible that we could hold with this and then have a revision downward to just a pleasant surprise next month. But Wall Street, I suspect, is reacting about the same way because it looks an awful lot like it did yesterday. Setting the table, the Dow was up by 64. 64 and change yesterday. Standard & Poor's was off by a rock-crushing 2.25, and Nasdaq off by about 48. Kind of a semi-routine day yesterday, and from looking at the futures, it looks like we're looking at a similarly routine day today with some profit taking from the record highs we were at, and no excitement whatsoever off the economic numbers.
Yeah, we are. I mean, your delayed close probably have a little green. At this point, we have no green. And I think it's worth mentioning too, Dave, is that the Dow actually, from what I think I heard, was they set a new record high yesterday in terms of intraday anyway, or maybe it was a closing high. I can't remember. I heard it briefly as I was listening to the news this morning. But yeah, they did okay. But right now everything is turned red and going down as we speak.
Yeah, we did. I think I'm looking at the chart from yesterday. It looks like we bumped above 31.6 for a little while yesterday morning, and then kind of went off from there. But yeah, we hit a new intraday high, and I didn't notice that earlier. Bunch of reports coming out. Is anything going to give us any good news on the earnings front for the quarter?
Well, we did have a lot come out, and a lot of them come out after the market closes today. But let's talk about travel, right? So we had Hilton Worldwide. They reported. And here's the deal: they missed. They lost 10 cents a share, which was a big surprise to analysts because they expected them to make about 4 cents a share. Revenue fell short also of what they had estimated. Obviously, they're still in having issues with COVID-19. People aren't traveling. Obviously, that's hurting them. They're trading down today 1.4%. Another travel-related company, and we don't talk about them much, is Choice Hotels. They missed also. They haven't actually traded yet this morning, but they missed by 4 or 5 cents a share. Also, they were at least slightly profitable, but missed their number. That's
the quality, comfort, and clarion line to give folks some household names to go with it.
Exactly. We had Garmin reported, and obviously they're in the fitness tracking as well as the navigation business. And because of the fitness stuff, man, they are just killing it. They beat by 44 cents a share at $1.73. Revenue ahead of forecast. Like I said, they've seen strong growth because of their fitness, but also because of their outdoor stuff, right? Their marine and their outdoor stuff has kept them going. They're trading up today 1.1%, almost 1.2%. And if they continue on the track they're on, they'll actually open at a new 52-week high.
All right. Time for a couple more, I think.
So we've got Lazy Boy reported. Let's see if I find out where the heck they went here.
Lifestyle-wise, during a shutdown, I would think a recliner would sell very well.
You would think so, and they did beat on earnings I'm sorry. They beat on revenue. They missed on earnings because of higher cost. And they had some supply chain disruption. But they're really getting hit this morning because their current CEO announced his retirement in April. And they're not liking that. They're down a little over 1% this morning.
All right. Resetting the table for the morning. It was kind of like we said, kind of a routine profit-taking day yesterday on Wall Street, up a little on the Dow, down a little bit on the Standard & Poor's and the Nasdaq. And as we said, there's just some going on as far as the federal numbers that came out this morning are concerned. How's the reaction 45 minutes before we start throwing real money around, Phillip?
Dave, let's just say it looks to me like the traders are doubtful that those numbers are legitimate. And here's why. When I first started looking at the futures about, I usually take the first look about 4:30 in the morning, and they were green, and not bad. They were up 40, 50 points. They're down 32 right now, down 0.1%. S&P 500 is down 0.2, and the Nasdaq's down a little over 0.5%, as well as the Russell 2000 is down almost 0.5%. So it's going to start out, it looks to me like a red day. Anything can happen, and it may trigger buying at some point today if it continues to fall. Gold and silver are both down. Silver's down a little over 1%. Gold's down 1.3%. Gold's fallen down to less than $1,800 an ounce right now. Crude oil, Dave, is substantially higher than yesterday. We're up 1.2% from where it closed yesterday. It's at $60.79 a barrel right now, which is we're getting really close to 61.
Yeah, poop. I kind of like it better when it's under 60. Asian rim markets closed generally up. The mainland Chinese markets generally had a kind of a party this morning at the close about 6 a.m. European markets are kind of frittering either side of the zero mark with absolutely no trend whatsoever evident around there midway through their trading day. Phillip, advice is always needed, especially when you're not 100% sure what the numbers you're getting are making sense as well. Just making sure you got a solid financial plan counts the most for a retirement portfolio. How do I find you to find that solid plan?
Devin, give us a call at 863-382-0037. And really and truly, you talk about plans. That's why it's important that, number one, you know what the risk is, but number two, that you have the right allocation between risk and safety. That's where the rule of 100 comes in. Give us a call to analyze your portfolio to see if you're on track to where you need to be. 863-382-0037. And then join us this weekend for the Statler Financial Radio Show, 6 a.m. and noon on Saturday, 10 a.m. Sunday morning on Highlands News Talk 730.
All righty. And of course, back here tomorrow morning as well on Light FM. Phillip, thank you so much. We'll see you then, all right?
All right, man. I'll talk to you tomorrow, and hopefully it'll be a little drier.
Yeah, we hope so. 105.7 Light FM and Statler Financial Services, Phillip Statler.
Hey, folks, I want to thank you again for joining us today. Hey, be safe. Remember, we're here to be a resource if there's any way that we can help. Take care. I look forward to speaking to you again tomorrow. Bye now.